Parker came to live with us when he was about 2 months old. He had no father in his life, so I tried to be his father and grandfather. So I spent a lot of time with Parker because at my age I had more time to spend with him than I probably did my own kids.
Parker came into my life about 5 years ago when I started seeing his mom. And ever since then, he's just been like another child of mine.
Spent a lot of time with him. We'd work on his bikes and his skateboard and school projects that he would need help on, and probably didn't go 2 weeks in his almost 15 years that I didn't see him.
One of the things that Parker really loved doing, he loved skateboarding. One of my sons kind of got him into the skateboarding, and it was one of those things that I felt that for Parker, it was his freedom. He can get around the Peachtree City, because that's where I live, and it just gave him that freedom to explore and just to be a kid, and he really, really enjoyed that. One of the things that stuck out with me with Parker was his personality. He just loved to make people laugh, and I remember him and my daughter having this makeup session in her room where it was a YouTube video where brothers and sister, they'd put makeup on each other blindfolded, and it was the most funniest thing you've ever seen.
I don't know what cities I'm not a girl.
What? Oh, okay. How many lips? I know he looks pretty, and then you do a little heart. Where is the cap? Give me the cap. Okay. Well, wait. Hand me the stuff that you put on me, the black stuff. There. Is this it?
Sorry for the cat interruptions.
When I was 17 years old, I had something happen to me that changed my life and everyone else's lives who were involved forever. Monday, February 9th was another normal day. I went to school, and after school I went over to a friend's house to do some homework and hang out. At about 9 o'clock, I decided I was going to go spend the night at my dad's house. On my way to his house, I turned onto Welcome Sergeant Road and my phone went off. I looked down at my phone for 1 second and I hit something that moved my whole truck. I stopped and I looked around, but I didn't see anything. I went to my friend's house to look at my truck and we saw a lot of damage to my front fender. We both immediately thought I hit a deer. Me and him decided to go back to see if we could find what I hit. When we got back to where the impact occurred, we walked the road with flashlights but did not see anything. When I got to my dad's house, I told him what happened and he wanted to go back and look too. Me and my dad went back and walked the road with flashlights too and still did not see anything. We came to the conclusion that night that a deer had ran into my truck and ran off.
That day, he didn't want to go to school. He was sick, and I debated on whether to make him go or not, but he went with me that day. So we spent all day together, and then came home, and he wanted to go, we went grocery shopping, and he wanted to go to his friend's house, and I took him. And it was late. This was February, so it was dark early. And I took him and I said, call me when you want picked up. And he said, okay. So I dropped him off. And we kissed and said, I love you and bye. And I went home. Later on that night, I realized that he hadn't called me. So I called him and I wasn't getting any answer. And immediately I knew something was wrong because he's never not home. And I called and called and called everybody I knew and couldn't find him anywhere. And I went to where I took him and they didn't know where he was. And I drove around the neighborhood and I drove up and down the roads and I couldn't find him. And this is 11:30 at night and I couldn't find him anywhere. So I finally called 911 and the police came. And at about 3:30 in the morning, they found him on the side of the road.
The next day around lunch, I got a phone call from an older brother saying they found his little brother dead on the side of the road.
Later on, he was convicted of texting and driving. And he has probation now. And that night changed my world. Turned out Parker was walking when I told him not to. But he wanted to. Very independent. And he was going to come home because, as he said many times, nothing ever happens here, Mom.
So all I can say is I'm begging you to quit using these phones. Pull over, do anything, but don't put anybody else through what we're going through.
You sit at a light and you see everybody texting, talking, not paying any attention to where they're at or what they're doing. This carelessness took my son. He never got the chance to be the uncle to my new grandson. He didn't get to go to his brother's wedding. He will never graduate, or drive a car, or get married, or have any kids of his own. It's been a very hard year. It gets a little easier, very little, but it will always be hard. We'll always miss him. I think about that Monday, every Monday, all day, every minute. I don't know that that'll ever go away.
Since this whole accident has happened, it has made me so much more aware when I'm behind the wheel. And I specifically put my phone into this cradle, and I do not do anything with it until I'm at my destination. And I urge everybody that is watching this to really think about the impact something like this could happen if it happened to you or a loved one. So please, please just think about it, put down the phone. It can wait, and let's just make sure that it doesn't happen.
I know everybody's into their phone, into their social media. I know that's a big deal. It is. I have my phone. I have Facebook. I have all of that too. But it is not that important. That message on that phone, wait, the world will not end if you don't get it right back to them. They can wait a minute till you get stopped, pulled over, whatever. It doesn't take half a second to swerve that wheel and hit a mailbox, a bush, a tree, a child, my child. And we're trying to make this important. Evidently, this is not a big deal yet. There has to be lots of deaths, evidently, for this to get to the level of drinking and driving. But it is just as big, maybe bigger, because everybody feels they can do this. Everybody feels they can do this. Just put the phone away. Just put the phone away.
There's nothing I can say or do that is going to bring Parker back, but what I can do is let y'all know how important it is to pay attention while driving, so no one else has to go through what me and his family are going through.